Hello there everybody, Boyd again with you with the Sci-Fi Model Action channel. Well, we're picking up again on our Moebius Cylon Centurion here. And what I've been doing is working on him a little bit. I'm starting to assemble his neck now. This little part that is actually his neck is called a gimble. And it mounts in this little base piece right here that fits up into his shoulder part here. So what we're doing is we're threading this wire through. I drilled a very small hole. Let me see if I can zoom in on this for you here a little bit. I drilled a small hole here at the top through this part, and I brought it out on the back side here and threaded it through this little joint so that when it sits in this slot right here and we pull it tight and pull the wire down in there, we're going to have a nice solid connection there, and our wire is going to be nice and hidden, and we'll have it down into the lower part of the body already, into the torso. We'll keep doing that all the way through the model until we get down to the bottom. So what I've got to do right now is I've got to bring this piece back up just a little bit. And on the instructions you can see there's these really small, let me pull this back here a little bit for you. There's some really small detail parts that go on right here at the neck area around this gimbal, and they're supposed to be painted this same kind of color that I'm using, which is dark gray metallic. And so I'll be getting these parts off the tree now and taking those over and spray painting those really quick. I'll bring them back over here and we'll start assembling them on. Once we get that done, we can lower this down and put his head on. We'll have this whole upper assembly finished, and then it'll be ready to drop into the shoulder area here. So we'll have the top half of this looking pretty good. Let me go paint those parts real quick. I'll bring them back over here and we'll start putting it together. Be right back. Alright, so we made it back over here to the bench after getting these little parts painted, and there were 6 of these individual pieces here all together. They're little hoses and little cable effects that are supposed to go on the back of this gimbal here to make it, let me see if I can hold it up here for you, to make it look like he's got some action going on in there, some detailing. And some of the hoses, they just end because once you put the head down in there, it looks like they go up into the head. So I've got them all figured out. It took a little bit of doing on this instruction here. It's not really quite clear exactly what angle they sit at. So anyway, I've got that figured out now. And I'm just going to put this last one in here. Just a little tiny dab of glue there at the tip, and work this in here with my little pair of tweezers here. And it just sits right up in between this other group here. Okay, we got that up in there pretty good. Trying to make them look the same as the other side there. I've got just a dab of glue in this side here to I've got to put in there so I can get those to stick to the back side. We don't want to have them come loose on us here. Let me work these out just a little bit here. Get just a dab of glue in there behind it. Okay. Okay, so that's it for the detailing in there. I'm going to let this dry just a little bit, and I'm going to go back and do a little touch-up on this just before I put it together, and then we'll be able to glue his head down here, and we'll have this upper part ready to go in the upper shoulder area here, and we'll get that put together, so I'll be right back. Okay, well, what we've done here is we've got this the head up in here in the top, and we've got this little gimbal here ready to go. All the hoses and brackets are in place there. And we've got to glue this piece on the bottom of the shoulder part here. We've got this little filler panel here that goes in the back. I painted that flat black so that'll contrast nice with the back of the head here. And I've painted some details on the side of his head here, the little black areas, and made those kind of metallic looking. I'm not sure if this will show up too good for you, but let me see if I can zoom in on it for you a little bit here. You can see that I added some chips, little chips around his visor there, and some chips there sort of on the front of his little speaker thing in the front. Like I said, given this kind of that theme of he's a little bit worn, we're going to add some more damage to him as we go, but those are just little things that I'm putting in now to kind of give it that little look of being worn. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take and get this ready to be glued now. So let me get this set up. I've got to just put a tiny little bit of glue on here, and I'll pull this through, and then what we want to do is glue it onto these main mounting pegs here. So I'll put this down in there first, and this is a slippery dang thing too. It's real smooth on the bottom. Okay, we've got that in there real good. And now we'll go ahead and pull the wire. Got to get that nice and close here. We don't want to have a kink inside there. I'm just working it through as I get this closer and closer. Okay, now I'm ready to push his neck down on there, and hopefully everything holds up good here. Okay, it looks like it went down all the way. And our mounting peg here is still pretty good, held on. Let me put a little bit more glue on this just to make sure. Alright, well then you can see all of our hoses and everything are in there really looking good, and let me see if I can get you a little closer to them here. Okay. So yeah, that's really looking pretty cool now. You can see he's starting a lot of the details starting to come around on this, just with the shoulder thing and the head on there. So yeah, we're going to be moving on next to the legs here. That's the pelvis and the leg assembly starts, the thighs, and then on down. So we'll be covering that in the next video. So I just thought I'd give you guys a quick little update here, show you what we're doing on this, and I think the details are starting to look pretty good on it. And again, with that little light in there coming on, it's not going to move a whole lot, but I think it'll be a pretty neat looking static display. We're going to be doing a few little dents on them here and there, and when we do our paint work, we'll put a couple little details on there that look like some bullet strikes or something like that, and I think this is going to come around pretty nice. So that's our Cylon Centurion update. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm having a lot of fun building this model. It's definitely different. I haven't done a lot of figures like I mentioned before, but I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and I really like the detail, how it comes together. Got the wire nice in there and hidden. You can't see it, so things are looking good. Okay guys, well, this has been fun. I'll see you next time, and happy modeling out there, guys. Take it easy.